When you read a quote like that, it really hits you because something profound has happened with AI in the last decade. It's this new intelligence with these incredible capabilities, but, well, it's not like ours. And the crazy thing is, as we try to understand it, we're finding it tells us just as much about ourselves as it does about the machine. So that's what we're going to get into today. We're going to explore this massive, massive gap between biological minds and artificial ones, and the really incredible quest to build a new science that bridges them. All right, so here's our roadmap. We'll kick things off with the mystery of modern AI, then dig into this staggering efficiency gap with our own brains. From there, we'll see how scientists are basically hacking biology, look at some truly mind-bending technologies, and see how it's all leading to a new, unified science of intelligence. Okay, first up, this strange new intelligence. We've all seen what it can do, right? Its power is obvious. But honestly, its weaknesses are just as fascinating, maybe even more so. So you've got this weird split. On one side, AI has incredible power, but then it makes these mistakes that scientists call egregious errors. I mean, things a person would never do. It just doesn't have that deep logical reasoning that seems to come so naturally to us. And that creates this strange mix of, brilliance and just baffling fragility. And that right there brings us to the core of the problem, a performance gap so wide you could drive a supercomputer through it. Let's really look at the two key areas, data and energy. To start, let's talk data. Modern AI models are trained on about, wait for it, 1 trillion words. Just try to wrap your head around that number. It is a colossal amount of information. So, how does that compare to us? Well, a human being, over an entire lifetime, encounters only about 100 million words. That's it. The difference between 100 million and a trillion, it's just staggering. It's almost incomprehensible. And this chart just says it all, doesn't it? The human bar here is so small you can barely even see it. In fact, to put it another way, it would take a single person 24,000 years to read the amount of text an AI is trained on. We are all truly incredibly efficient learning machines. Now let's switch gears to energy, because the story gets even crazier. Training one of these large AI models can consume as much as 10 million watts of power. And the human brain, the amazing thing in all our heads, it runs on just 20 watts. For comparison, an old-school incandescent light bulb used to be 100 watts. Yeah, we are, all of us, quite literally dimmer than a light bulb. And I mean that as a huge compliment. And this gap is only getting wider. While our brains just sip power, some of these AI data centers are now thinking about billion-watt power supplies. Some are even considering dedicated nuclear reactors. This level of inefficiency just isn't sustainable. So the big question is, how do we close this gap? Well, the answer, it seems, lies in hacking biology's 500-million-year-old playbook. Scientists are turning to neuroscience and even physics to learn the secrets of the brain's incredible efficiency. And to do that, they're focusing on a few of the brain's key secrets. First, biology is super efficient because it matches its computations to the native physics of the universe. Second, the brain has this amazing predictive system to get energy exactly where it's needed, just in time. And third, we humans learn through what's called machine teaching, not just by swallowing raw data. So let's break those down. Okay, check out this predictive energy idea. This is so cool. In experiments with fruit flies, scientists found that when neural activity is about to go up, the chemical fuel for those neurons, ATP, also goes up, but just before the activity happens. The brain literally predicts where the energy is needed and delivers it precisely on cue. This is totally different from how most AI learns. Think about it. We don't just throw millions of math problems at a child and hope they figure it out. No, we teach them the algorithm to solve the problem. That's machine teaching, and it allows us to generalize and solve new problems with far, far less data than the brute force methods used for AI today. So we can learn from the brain. What if we could also talk to it? This is where things get really futuristic. Scientists are now developing ways to have a direct, two-way conversation with the brain. Using AI, researchers built a digital twin of a mouse's visual system, and by reading the neural signals, they can actually decode and reconstruct the images the mouse is seeing. Think about that for a second. We can now literally see the world through a mouse's eyes. But here's the unbelievable part. It's not just a one-way street. After learning the brain's language, they can now speak back to it. They can write information directly into the mouse's mind. The level of control is just staggering. Researchers can make the mouse see things that aren't there, to have specific controlled hallucinations. They can make it perceive anything they want. And how many neurons did it take to achieve this incredible, precise control? The answer is astounding. Just 20. By figuring out the right 20 neurons to activate, they could reliably create a specific perception right inside the mouse's mind. This leads to an even more radical idea. What if we stopped trying to just mimic the brain with silicon, and instead, we build computers out of actual, living brain cells? It's called synthetic biological intelligence. And yes, it's really happening. Companies are creating computers, like the CL1, that fuse living neurons, grown from human skin or blood cells, right onto silicon chips. These biological computers can learn and adapt faster than standard AI, while consuming vastly less energy. This could even revolutionize personalized medicine, letting doctors test drugs on a patient's own lab-grown neurons. So where's all of this heading? Well, it's all part of a grand pursuit for a unified science of intelligence, a new field that uses AI to finally understand the brain, and at the same time uses the brain's principles to create more efficient, more explainable, and more powerful AI. It leaves us with a profound question for the 21st century, doesn't it? As we peer inwards, both into ourselves and into the AI we create, what will be the ultimate prize? A completely new form of intelligence? Or, for the very first time, a true scientific understanding of what it means to be intelligent at all?